9 million Ghana cedis. I'm going to leave the figures for them to talk about, but in studio this morning is the CEO of Venture Capital Trust Fund, Michael Abe, as well as the General Manager, Percival Ofori Ampoma. Gentlemen, you are very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wow. So this all happened in the last 20 years?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to come to you, Michael. Before we even get into the figures and all the achievements, you need to tell us who you are. I've heard a lot about you, venture capital. But who exactly are you and what do you do?
Great. Thank you very much, Cookie, and good morning to our viewers. So the Venture Capital Trust Fund is a government-backed fund of funds.
Oh.
Now, when we say fund of funds, what we mean is that we invest in other funds and then they in turn invest in businesses, small and medium-scale businesses. And we've been in operation since 2004. But of course, we got established by an Act of Parliament, Act 680, which gave us two clear mandates. The first is to provide venture capital financing to support businesses in Ghana. But we do that through our venture capital finance companies, or what we call fund managers. And the second mandate is for us to help develop the venture capital private equity ecosystem in Ghana. Now, our approach is more of a public-private partnership model in supporting businesses in Ghana. So the fund managers are privately run, and we are estate-backed.
Okay.
And as you mentioned the figure right there, I mean 350 million Ghana cedis plus. And this has been the amount that have been invested in the Venture Capital Trust Fund. And the unique structure that we operate with is such that the fund managers we invest in leverage on the amount we give them to attract other private capital to now support businesses. So you can see a 2 billion Ghana cedis plus there, which is the leveraging amount.
Raised by a fund from other investors as well.
Precisely. So we are a catalytic organization.
You're the catalyst.
You come to us, let's say you have a ticket size of $10 million, or let's say 20 million Ghana cedis, and then based on the calculus and everything, we agree that we are supporting you with a 40%, and this is our commitment to your fund. So you leverage that to attract other funding. And so with just 350 million Ghana cedis plus that the government of Ghana and the World Bank have given us to support our operations, we have been able to, with the partnership with the private sector, been able to generate over 2 billion cedis, which have been used to support businesses in Ghana. And as you rightly mentioned, almost 80 companies or businesses have been supported. These businesses have created jobs, I mean over 28,000 jobs since our operation. Again, they've paid taxes to the state. And we are very much, and I'm sure when the general manager gets the opportunity to touch on our impact, he may connect that to even the SDGs, because we are very much particular about that as well. So what we do is we don't directly disburse funds to businesses, but we do that through our fund managers. And since 2004 till date, yes, 20 years in operations, we launched our anniversary, I think, 3 weeks ago, at the Ghana Venture Capital Association conference, which we had at Kempinski, and we outlined the achievement, as you can see in the impact report. And so we are here to let the public know us and what we do, and to build that relationship with the business community in Ghana.
Very laudable. I wonder if Percival will have anything else to say, because you've said a whole lot. But this book is very thick, so I can imagine that he's got a lot more to say.
There's actually a lot to say.
Percival, so 28,000 jobs and counting. So you just don't give the money or the funding, you find or you create jobs as well. Over the last 20 years, minus these two that I've mentioned, what's been the major impact of venture capital?
Okay, so let me say good morning to your wonderful listeners once again. And maybe depart from the numbers a little bit to talk about things that we can all connect with. First of all, in December, I think we launched the first women-focused fund. It's called Zenari Capital, focusing purely on women-owned businesses, because we believe that, of course, diversity is important and gender inclusion is a very critical part of our investments. And this is the first of many that will come as we continue to invest. Yes.
And the size of the fund is 120 million?
Yes, they are raising 120 million for women-owned, women-supported, women-led businesses. And that is a first. Venture Capital several years ago also came in with the first cancer center in Ghana. It's called the Ghana Sweden Medical Center. Now it serves not just Ghanaians, but West Africans who come here for cancer treatment. That was part of our investments. Recently, we invested in a company called Wami Agro. It's an aggregator that is supporting more than 15,000 farmers. It started with 13,000 when we invested, and is growing that community gradually. What it does is that it provides a little funding and support for farmers to be able to work and produce the products that we require either in our factories or even food for us. And this then gets taken by Wami Agro and sells on the market. These farmers have access to market. They have livelihoods that they are. So in fact, the jobs that are created, these are the ones that we have officially marked. But the livelihoods that have been supported by venture capital's impact and investment goes beyond 2 million over the course of 20 years. And I believe that there is a significant opportunity to do more. In the educational sector, we have financed, supported a university, AUCC. I don't know if you know of AUCC. Some of the graduates from there actually work with us. We have supported Legacy Girls, one of the top girls' schools, private-owned girls' schools in Ghana.
Yeah, they've been here before.
Oh, they've been here?
I think so,
Excellent.
yeah. They've been here before, yeah.
Joy Sababio, who has now transitioned into a university, has also been supported by us. We've supported one of the biggest pension funds, Axis Pension. We supported them when they started. And now today they invest alongside with us, having grown to become the big size that they are. And so these are things that we can all connect with. There are quite a number of companies that we can connect with. But the impact has not just been on the companies as well, but even the transformational approach to building an ecosystem that didn't exist. And that is the venture capital and private equity ecosystem. In 2004, there was nothing. But now we have 14 funds, at least 6 fund managers now currently looking for investment opportunities to put money out there for SMEs to be able to go about and create jobs and support the economy. And then, of course, also the mobilization of capital, domestic capital to support domestic growth. I mean, in Ghana right now, the private equity market is dominated by foreign capital. And now with the departure of foreign capital, as you know, USAID is already gone.
Yes,
Europeans are considering other things.
Yeah.
So the mobilization of local capital is key.
Okay.
And venture capital has been at the forefront of mobilizing the local capital.
Your laurels are admirable. Congratulations to you, for the last 20 years. But I mean, you've been very successful at supporting these other fund managers who help your business. How do you do it? How do you support them?
Okay. So first of all, of course, you have to write a check. Usually what we do is we are the catalytic investor. So we would write the first check. A lot of times the fund managers may not necessarily be first-time fund managers. In our industry, if you're a first-time fund manager, it's very difficult to raise money. And so you need a backer, somebody who would actually back you and say, I believe in your story, I'm going to back you. And venture capital has successfully done that to bring a lot of fund managers on the scene. And that's how come we're able to catalyze 6 new fund managers. These fund managers didn't exist before, and we've done that. The second thing is that we also develop their capacity. So we have the Venture Capital Analyst Program, just to train the requisite finance and investment persons to be able to work in this fund management industries, so that they will be able to produce the best results that we can. And then we have the Fund Manager Development Program, another program that is also going to build the next generation of fund managers. And then finally, we have a technical assistance that we use to support the fund managers when they go and invest in portfolio companies. If they have any challenges that goes beyond their capacity,
they come to you.
Then they come to us, and then we look at the best way to support them.
I see. Internationally as well, what have you done, or what are you doing to attract more investment? Okay,
so internationally, we are members of the African Venture Capital Association. In fact, we recently came from the conference. We are very active members in that space. We help our fund managers when it comes to, for example, DFI's engagement, trying to raise money with them. When they come down to Ghana interactions, we assist with that process of raising money. In fact, in 2012 or 2013, we did the first private equity venture capital conference in Ghana to help build that momentum for Ghana's private equity space, and also to create awareness for our local fund managers. I think subsequent to that, another conference also came called Super Return, also placing Ghana on the map to attract long-term funding. We have worked very closely with some of these DFIs. Some of them are in our funds, the funds that we've invested in, including IFC, they've invested with us, and some other DFIs that have already invested. So we are in constant touch, negotiations, discussions, to bring these people on board, to help them, and to help us to bring more money to them.
Michael, I'm coming to you about the future, but as you gather your thoughts, let me just let Percival expatiate on this one for me. So I see the Fund Manager Development Program here. It started in 2021, and then it says here that the Trust Fund is currently working with the project coordination units of the Ghana Economic Transformation Project to be able to begin the program in 2025. What does that mean?
So the Fund Manager Development Program starts this year. It is supported by the Ghana Economic Transformation Project, which is a project sponsored by the World Bank. They gave us some monies in 2022. They recapitalized venture capital in 2022 to do its work. And part of that recapitalization is to support that initiative. And so we've gone through the process of procurement and planning and everything, and the program is scheduled to start in 2025. And so that's what it means. It means that we would be inviting people to actually apply for a place. We don't have that many spots. So it's about 30 people we're looking for, 15 per cohort. And when we send out the invitation, we would be using, of course, the necessary merit-based screening to get the people in.
All right. When it's time, come back and let's talk about it. And let's create more awareness about the program as well. Michael, this is 20 years in the past. What's the next 20, 40, 60, 100 looking like if we're still alive?
We should definitely be alive by then. Well, but before that, it is very important to tell the public what may have been a unique feature which has grounded our success as a trust fund. So when you look at the PPP arrangement we have, the partnership with the private sector, unlike other institutions that directly dole out monies to businesses to engage, we provide money and equally technical support, entrepreneurial support services from the fund managers we work with. So before you even come on our radar as a fund manager, we look at the quality, the competence of the team. I mean, for the fund management company.
You go through some good scrutiny,
because you must journey with the businesses, grow with them so they become sustainable businesses. So the successes you're seeing here is because of the unique structure we have as a trust fund. Now, going forward and for the future, yes, the broad vision is to work towards making Ghana a premier destination for venture capital, private equity within the sub-region and, of course, on the continent. But for immediate steps, we announced at the Kuhu Business Forum that we shall be, in the coming days, announced the Ejimera Fund. The Ejimera Fund is to support Government of Ghana's initiative, which is the Ejimera program. And so we have already started some discussions on how we structure the fund and equally attract funding into that pot.
We're told it is to support about 10,000 businesses annually.
So that is Government of Ghana's plan. The intention is to support 10,000 businesses annually, startups. Of course, at the venture capital end, we are also supporting the program by establishing the Ejimera Fund to support businesses in that sector, particularly startups. Again, we have an ongoing partnership with the Ministry of Communication on the Ghana Digital Acceleration Project, which I think we are almost done with all the formalities, the processes to establish that fund to also support tech startups. So we are looking at tech startups in agri-tech, for instance, in health, tech startups, even climate related startups that are into the tech space as well. Again, another fund we intend establishing is the 24-hour Economy SME Fund, and this also to support Government of Ghana's initiative. Okay. And so we've had conversations with the 24-hour Economy Secretariat at the Presidency. We are done with the conceptualization stages, and so venture capital is going to be one of the vehicles to provide equity financing for businesses that would want to operate 24/7 within the 24-hour economy. Now, in the short to medium term, we're also looking at the regulatory space, to support, to ensure that we strengthen the ecosystem in Ghana. And so we are having conversations with the World Bank under the Ghana Economic Transformation Project on what we call the limited partnership law, because we need to have a policy framework and environment that supports the investments that come in to support, our businesses in the country.
A lot to do in the next 20, 30 years, but we are wishing you the very, very best. Michael Abbey is the CEO of Venture Capital, and General Manager is also Percival Ofori-Ampoma. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. This book, do I get to keep it?
Right, yes.
Okay, so I get to keep it and I go through and see a lot more for myself. But about the program, come back and let's talk about it. I'll be waiting for you. It's still TV3 Newday. Time now for us to get into birthdays. So Coco, we do our second draw right now. Okay, so let's have our second draw and then we can do some birthdays as well. Let's see what's happening on the dashboard. Thank you. Not yet, just wait. Okay, so our second winner for the morning is 0200127. 3 numbers come after that. Congratulations to you. Coco, let's take a musical spot. When we come back, we'll just do birthdays quick.